Looking forward to Talladega next weekend. It's been described as kind of a tense race in the cockpit all race long with, in the pack, and knowing anything can break loose at any moment. How white knuckle of an experience is that for you, and knowing that, anything can happen at any moment?
Yeah, it is. I think you have to go there and approach those restrictor plate races, and once you get in the race, and you have to approach it with a mindset that this, like any other race, we're going to race the race as best we can, make the right moves, be smart, do everything we normally do, and whatever comes out of it comes out of it, and that's kind of all you can really do. And I've explained restrictor plate racing. It's either white knuckle, very intense, or you're sitting there waiting for something to somebody to pull out a line or something to get happening. There's no in between. It's never it's either a dull moment or it's high energy white knuckles. So we know what to expect, and it's kind of the same thing every race, and this won't be any different.
We'll take our next question from Viv. Go ahead.
Viv Bernstein, New York Times. I'm just working on something on Matt. Are you surprised at how much his performance has stepped up this year in leaving Roush?
No, I don't think so. I know Matt's a really, really good driver, and we all know what it's like to get a fast race car at one time or another. You run really good, and he just went over there and got in the right situation. They've obviously got good cars. It's been well documented with the 11 making a run at the championship, Kyle winning 8 or 9 races in one season. So, it's that's doesn't necessarily surprise me, him going over there and having the success he's had. I knew he was capable of that as a driver, for sure. And Matt's always the quiet guy and finishes 4th or 5th. And this opportunity's afforded him to, instead of 4th or 5th, it's 1st or 2nd, and a lot of those have been wins. So.
Okay, we'll take our next question over to the right. Stan.
Caught me early. Stan Creekmore with RPM tonight, Greg. How important is today's practice going to be in relation to the race tomorrow? And are you going to be significantly different in the setup of the car from qualifying, because the weather hasn't changed too much?
Yeah, that's it seems pretty warm out right now, so I think the track probably won't have a lot of speed in it. But I think the second practice session, that last half hour of the second practice session, is really where we look for the car to be driving good and have good balance and good speed. So that's as close as we get, from 6:30 to 6:50 or whatever on our practice time. That's going to be getting pretty close to the race. But I think this first one is kind of, get the groove, get your balance, try a few things that may not be bigger items that you might just want to try. And then that second practice session is where we'll probably fine-tune, our car in for the race.
Yep. Any other questions for Greg? Okay, take one from Dustin.
Dustin Long, Motor Racing Network. There's 3 drivers making their Cup debuts this weekend, including Kyle Larson. What do you remember about your first Cup start? What stands out? What are the memories? What are the things that you've collected or kept from that day, if anything?
Yeah, it's neat to be able to make your Cup debut. It was seems like a different time when I was doing that. I remember being so close to making my first Daytona 500, and we were in the qualifying races, and the engine failed, and we didn't make the Daytona 500 that year because of the engine. And it's those are good memories. Your first race in every division is kind of a memorable one, and I think that those guys have a lot of experience. They'll learn a tremendous amount. This place is fast, demanding, and it's this place is a tough race. The 600 and this event are both, pretty tough places to race at. So it'll be neat for them to be able to get their first start here.
Okay, we'll take one in the back middle from Ryan. Go ahead.
Ryan McGee, ESPN. Greg, all the drivers, everybody that's been in here the last couple of days has mentioned Talladega pretty quickly. For your title chances, are we putting too much stock in Talladega for that's the race when we could reel the leaders back in, or are you already thinking about that?
Yeah, I mean, you can sit and think about what all can happen, and to be perfectly honest with you, it could go the other way too. They could all make it through, and we don't. So, and there may not be anything happen at all. It may just be a normal race. But I remember last year the 14 car was upside down, tumbling across cars, and so it can change. Points can change in a hurry, and that's one racetrack that we all know that can go one way or the other in a hurry. And a lot of guys got their fingers crossed that maybe they get a little bit of a break in the points there, but you certainly can't count on anything happening. And we just look forward to trying to make it through and have a good top 5 run and see what happens. But we all know that Daytona and Talladega are racetracks that can catch up multiple cars in one incident. So we'll wait and see what happens.
Any final questions for Greg? Okay, sorry. Go ahead, Jerry.
Jerry Jordan, Kicking the Tires. Greg, early on in this thing, you addressed this a little bit earlier too, but about being a 3-man chase. Obviously, you're still in this thing. It's 44 out. You said you were a long shot, but can you address that coming back with still 6 races to go?
Well, it was a 3-man race after the second race, they said, and the 3 men have changed now to 3 different guys. But anyway, we're, like I said, 44 points out. It's a long ways for us. So we just keep running as hard as we can and see if we can close in. I don't think we've gained on them all 4 races yet. We've gone the other way, unfortunately, to everybody in front of us. Of course we gained at Loudon, but didn't gain on the leader. So all we could do is just keep trying and see where it goes. But as the deeper you get into the chase, obviously the more of a long shot it becomes to try and get up there, especially when you're 6th. It's 5 guys you got to pass. There's a few right close to me, but there's multiple guys that have a pretty good, fairly substantial gap there.
Okay, we'll take one final quick follow-up from Stan.
Yeah, on the chase and the point system, would you be in favor of NASCAR changing the points where actually the only people you're points racing again in the final 10 races are those in the chase? So like if you were just a 3rd finisher of those in the chase, you got a 3rd place points versus a 10th or a 15th or a 20th where you actually finished.
Oh, that's way over my head for a question, but you guys can ask Matt Kenseth that question when he comes up. I don't know. I mean, I guess, in some instances that sort of makes sense, but under what we do every week and what the way the series, what we do all season, is it rewards consistency and good finishes at the same time, and it rewards the guys building the equipment back at the shop, for having durable parts and pieces and engines and things like that. So, I think the point system is probably fair the way it is, compared to, if you blow up and finish dead last, you get 10th. I don't know. I like it the way it is, but or maybe always be an improvement, I guess.
Greg, thank you for your time this afternoon. Good luck this weekend.